get it onto my computer. Yes. Okay, great. So did everybody hear that? And did everybody hear music in the waiting room? Because I did, and I thought it would be
Yes.
terrible if I screwed up and there was dead silence. So that's terrific. So here we have her, Mayume Carelli. I met Mayume in class at Lisa Williams. We were both studying an intensive platform mediumship workshop, and we just connected, and we didn't know why. So we shared our numbers and started texting, and then we ended up receiving messages from each other's loved ones. And there are so many parallels. I'm getting a little choked up because it was such an amazing experience. And I have the most amazing respect for this lady right here. So, Mayum, say hi,
Hi.
and
Oh,
let's get the
right back
party
at you,
started.
Anthony. Right back at you. I'll say, hi, guys. How's everyone doing? Happy
But are you
Wednesday.
having fun? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it Wednesday? Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is Wednesday. Here we
Wednesday.
are. So, I'm going to start with a couple of questions that everybody asks, everybody who does this. When did you first realize you were a medium?
That's interesting. Because the first time I realized I was a medium is different than when I first started seeing spirit. Because obviously
Okay.
I had no idea
So
what
start
the
at the
hell I was
beginning.
saying.
First recollection of any of that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably around 7 years old. And,
Mhm.
it started off with like specks of light when you're sleeping in the bedroom. I thought they were fairies. I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And then those specks of light got a little bit bigger and then dark shadows and then faces. And I was like, what the hell? And as I got older, I got scared, right? It's
Yeah.
scary. If for anyone out there who sees things and anything at night is scary. I don't know why spirit does that, first of all. That's no fun.
I think it just likes
So
to mess with us.
it's just, and I think it's also
Yeah.
because we're much more relaxed. We're kind of in that in between state. So that's when they would, and I say they, meaning all kinds of things, not just people. And a lot of more old people. I just will say, when you're younger, like, why is this old man in my room? And then there was a lot of weird shit, if I can say that, like weird
You can say
entities.
whatever you like.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Um,
here's a little
you know,
disclaimer. Mayum and I speak the same language.
yeah.
So there's
Sometimes,
going to be
yeah, I
a
might
little
swear.
bit of salty talk.
It's a little salty, but yeah. So I was really at a young age, and then as it developed into a teenager, I had friends that would, girlfriends that would sleep over, and they'd be like listening to me going, "Oh my God, Alice, get out, get out!" And they'd be like, "What is happening? What is happening?" And my dad would come in, and he was the best. He'd say, "Okay, all right, let's not be afraid. Let's be curious. So, who do you think it was? Maybe you should ask questions." I was like, "Ask questions," because I'm trying to like get the hell out of the room. So it was funny how so my girlfriends would say, oh God, it would be so hard to stay at Mayum's house because she would see ghosts and weird shit. So, and then dating was awfully hard as well. I'll just be honest. And when things come at night and you're,
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
date people and they're like, what is happening, when you're yelling and screaming and telling people to leave. So it was like throughout my life. And then I kind of got a hand on it, or it would happen sometimes, happen not. I would just get feelings of, especially in the bar, talking to someone, and then you just know that their grandmother is behind them, and you don't know who this is.
Ah,
And I don't say anything. I'm sure that would happen to you. So it would happen in places, and I just kind of ignored it, to be honest with you. I
yeah.
ignored it. Yeah. And my girlfriends, as I got older, would be like, do a reading or read some cards. And so, or how do you feel about this? And so I would give that kind of thing, but
Hmm.
I would never have ever said that I was psychic or a medium, and never.
Well, what did you think you were? I mean, you're having all these fabulous
That's
experiences.
such a great question. I don't know. And I'm sure in fact, I know I'm not the only one out there. I'm sure there's people here on the Zoom call that maybe have experienced weird stuff at night, or dreams that are super, really clear, and where you felt like it was real. So I don't know. I didn't really put a label on it. I just thought, oh, I can kind of sense things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I
But it
had,
wasn't until after my dad died,
okay.
really, really, when I
How did that change everything for you?
well, after he died, and he was the one that was my biggest advocate of, like, just ask questions. He was always so curious about my dreams and what I see at night. Like, he just wanted to report, like, what have you seen lately? So we shared stories. It was great. he made me feel like it was okay and it was normal. And then and he used to talk about all the time, Anthony, like, well, when I die, I'm going to play tricks on you. I'm going to prove to you that there's more life, like we don't die. He kept saying that and taught his kids,
Wow.
you don't die. So I was like, all right. And then he passed, unfortunately, tragically. He was murdered in 1996. And as you can imagine, I had a lot of anger and was pissed off at God and source and the universe of like, how could you let this happen? And then I waited. I was like, is he gonna show up? Am I gonna see him? And waited and waited and waited, and he never did anything. And I was like, what the hell? So it really bothered me, right? Because I thought if anything, he said he would. So he waited until I have 3 girls, and he waited until they were little toddlers and they all had the stomach flu. Raise your hand if you took care of kids when they're throwing up. And I had chunks of puke. Thank you, Melissa. Chunks of puke in my hair. And I was at my in-laws' house. I was having a pity party. I was bawling. And I'm holding one kid. I'm going, I do was a devil, all these freaking kids, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to be a mom anymore. I mean, they were all puking, and I was just losing my shit. And I just remember just like, and then I felt this presence walking. I thought it was my husband, to be honest with you. And I looked up, and there I saw my dad. It was just his torso. It was very translucent, and he was in his prime. He was a Vietnam veteran. So he was in fatigues, all strong. And I knew it was him because it was my dad. And I put my hand out and I was like, Dad. And then he morphed into the older dad, the one that I really wanted to see. And his
Yeah.
hand, I could feel the energy touch mine. And he just said, I heard his voice in my right ear, but I couldn't see his mouth move. And I just heard his voice say, I love you so much and everything's going to be okay. And that was it. And it was like 3 seconds, right? And then gone. But I was
You
like,
didn't mention the puke in your hair? He didn't
yeah,
say,
I mean,
"Oh, girl, you got
could
some
he
puke
smell
in your
it? I
hair."
mean, because that's all I was smelling. I mean, it was like one of the weirdest times. So I thought of all the times, that's the time he chose to come in, right?
Yeah. Well, you really needed him then. Could I share what connected us with through your dad? Just not explicitly.
Please, please.
Um, I was having dreams. We all dream. And then I noticed for like a few days in a row, there was this soldier. Oh, wait, I have to admit somebody. There was a soldier carrying a picture of Mayume. And I thought, well, that's just me. You know, I didn't know anything about her, her dad, her past. We had just connected through class. I think we were in a breakout room together and we ended up connecting on Facebook or something. And this went on for about a week. And I called her. I'm like, bitch, there's some man walking around in my dreams with your picture. And then she asked me to describe him. But in describing him, I started getting all this information and then
Yeah.
a lot of details. And Mayum validated it. And
Yeah.
there was a reason that we came together because
Oh, it was the most beautiful, and I use this in the text. I think I mean, I was shooketh the way my dad came to Anthony, and he provided so much evidence, but it wasn't even just the evidence. It was, because this is what I believe in mediumship. It's not just evidence, it's the message. What's the message that you want to hear? And he delivered that. It was like I could feel the essence of my dad. I knew for sure that it was my dad that was speaking to him, and then I received the message. And that's the goal, really. Would you
yeah.
agree? Like we can
Oh, I did.
pull,
And then to
evidence
make
left and
matters
right.
worse, then she one-ups me. I had her as a guest on another show, and she brought up my partner who passed 3 years ago.
Right.
Really specific. I think it was a backpack or a gorilla suit, something you said.
Backpack.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because we, we were reconciling after like a 4-day quarrel. And all of a sudden, we were in Central Park. And he said, how do you feel about big furry things? And I was like, please tell me you don't have a gorilla suit in your backpack. And then that was the evidence. And then there were all these other things that were happening. Mayum picked up on so much, and I can't wait to get to that. But moving along with this, we
Yep.
all have our own way of working.
Yep.
And so now we've learned that you started seeing spirits when you were a child, and you kind of
Yeah.
took it in stride. And then it was many years later that you saw your father and you knew you had the ability to work as a medium.
Mhm.
So I
I didn't
know you, and I know how meticulous you are, and I know that you've probably taken a lot of training. And so we all develop our own way of doing it. My way is I just tell people to either think about what they loved about their loved ones, not what they miss, because that's sad. And I think that they respond to love. And then I love them with them, and then I raise my energy, and then they come down and we end up blending. Mayum has a very different technique. So why don't you tell everyone,
Yeah.
when you sit down to start a session, what do you do? What's your prep?
So beforehand, as prep in the email confirmation with their Zoom link, I have the sitter, the person, write down on a piece of paper their intention for the reading. What is it they desire? So maybe it'll be names of loved ones they want to connect with. Maybe it's areas in their life that they would like guidance, because sometimes it's a psychic mediumship reading. And I never see that. So I just want them to write it down. It sets the intention. When we start the reading, I always start with an invocation, like a little prayer blessing that will raise our frequency and vibration and get us. I like to picture us in the clouds, kind of having the conversation, raise the frequency. And then I say, I promise to share everything that I see, feel, and hear. And then if there's anything, I'll stop around 15, 20 minutes left of the reading and touch upon, is there anything on that paper that spirit didn't touch upon or talk about that you would like to now, and so that the person feels complete. And I'm going to be honest, very seldom is there anything left on that paper. In fact, I think I had a couple of people who said, oh yeah, I just wanted to know where I was going to go on vacation this summer. I'm like, well, sorry that spirit didn't touch upon that, but they
Yeah.
touch upon the real stuff that you really need to know. So that to me is just a nice, beautiful way to set the intention. Yeah.
That's a very important, is setting your intention. Yeah, yeah. Now you said earlier, whether you're doing a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, can you explain the difference between the two?
Yeah, so a psychic reading would be basically where I would tap into I call it your spirit team. It would be your guides. We all have spirit guides that are with us. It would be any angels that are with you. I also work with the archangels. I'm a certified angel guide. And so they like to talk to me for you. So it would provide you with any guidance, insight, validation of your journey. So it's really about your soul journey. And yes, sometimes a loved one might pop in, but the purpose and intention is for guidance. Where mediumship is where people come to me because they've lost a loved one and they want to connect with that loved one. So, and I don't know about you, Anthony, I prefer that there's at least 3 months after the passing to try and connect.
Yeah.
Some people are in a hurry, and I just want everyone to know, if you've lost a loved one, do not run out the next day or the next week to talk to a medium. Give it time as the soul is in transition, and also for your grieving process. It is very hard to do a reading with someone who is riddled with grief. It's a very low frequency. So I always say at least 3 months. I prefer more time for the soul and for the sitter. But that mediumship, that's the difference. And then sometimes I do a lot of hybrids. They're both. Let's see
Yeah.
who's here.
I've had that happen when I've done tarot readings. Sometimes a deceased person will try to join, and I'll always ask my clients, somebody's trying to join us. Do you want to share your time with them or not? I have no trouble telling somebody to get the hell out of here. But
Yeah.
a lot of people,
That's
who have passed tell me, I call it dead school. They have to divest themselves of their entire human experience and exist only in spirit. And that may, depending on what they're going through, the credible ones have told me that they have to make sure that they have been forgiven by people that they feel remorse for, because they don't know. And I have my own experience being resuscitated. You do recall your life and you hear your voice coming out of your own mouth, but
whoa,
you feel what the other person felt because of your words. And then you
whoa.
judge yourself. And I'm going to tell you the truth. There were some people, I could have given it to them a little harder. I don't, I'll shit talk the living and the dead. So, but there were other people that I just felt so remorseful for. And then luckily for me, obviously I didn't stay over there. And I did call one person and he validated it because he had just been diagnosed with AIDS. And this was back in the 80s.
Wow.
And he said, now I have to die. And I'm thinking, how do I talk him off this ledge and let him realize that he has free will? I said, well, Dave, you never did anything that anybody ever told you to do. Why are you starting with this? And he got really silent, and I thought, oh boy, I fucked that up, man. So I made my goodbyes, and I left. And then after my experience many years later, because I had mine in 1994, um, I called him and I said, do you remember the day you told me about your diagnosis? He says, remember it. I can never forget it.
Ah,
You made me realize that it was up to me. And I thought,
yeah,
that's a relief. So
yeah,
they go through that, and then they
yeah,
find people like this. Now, if you do go out immediately, if anybody goes out immediately after losing somebody, you're going to find somebody who calls himself a medium who's going to take your money. So please
correct.
listen to us.
Please,
Give them time to
yes.
go through their process. They
Mm.
will show up to you in dreams, perhaps before that time. It's the easiest way for
Yep.
them to reach you, but you're not going to get a direct connection until they have made themselves very comfortable there. And one of them even told me that he said, the spirit and the soul are one when they're trapped in this body, but when you pass, the soul is like a cup that holds the spirit. The spirit moves on, but the soul has all the residual life energy and waits until their last loved one during their lifetime joins them on the other side. They want to be
Mm.
accessible, which
Yeah,
is quite beautiful.
it's
And
very beautiful.
every now and then you get some real crackpots. Tell us about your most outrageous sitting and your most
I
profound.
had to think about this, you guys, because there's a lot of outrageousness and things that I call golden nuggets. I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. Where I'm even shocked. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? So but there's so many, and then a lot of times, I don't know about you, Anthony, sometimes I don't retain every reading, right? So there's a lot. But
Right.
I the ones that came to mind, um, I had to think about this. There was a for the last 2 years, I have had, for some reason, a lot of souls that have come to me that have passed as young men. A lot
Mhm.
of them had to do with either suicide or accidental suicide. And I found that really interesting. I was like, why am I getting all these boys, these young men? And one of them, his name was Parker, and I know this would be okay for his mom give me permission, but he was a riot. I didn't know Parker, and he shows up, and I'm talking to his family. This is a group reading in their home. Now, I did know ahead of time that who I was going to connect with. That was the intention. And it had not been that long. I think it'd been like 6 months. And he shows up, and I can tell he's really funny. And he's standing next to me, and he pulls his pants down and shows his ass to the group, like he's mooning them. Swear to God, you know how in your mind's eye it plays like a
Yeah.
daydream, like a movie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is this really happening? Am I really
Do I
seeing
really
this?
have to
And
say
then I'm
this?
like, do I really say this shit? Because I'm gonna look like a lunatic. I'm gonna look like a weirdo. So I say, okay, you guys, I'm really sorry for this. And if it makes zero sense, I don't know what it means, but he's mooning you all right now. He's just pulled down his pants, and he's, and they start dying laughing, and they're crying. And they said that was his signature move. Whenever he would do it, every time they go hiking, he'd be on top of the mountain and he'd moon the world. That was his. I mean, you can't make that shit up. I was like, how would I know that? So that was awesome. They all laughed. They loved that. And I turned to Park and I was like, thank you for that, because that was a gem. I
That's
mean,
funny.
and that's also where we mediums have to really trust
Yeah,
what
I was just
come
going to
and
ask you
be
about that.
brave enough to say it. So I don't
Uh-huh.
know how many people here work as psychic mediums or understand this. It's kind of like this fleeting movie that comes, and you're
Mhm.
like, ooh, ooh, do I
Yeah.
say something or not? So that was really fun. I
Yeah,
also
my
had,
advice is always blurt it right out because it doesn't make sense to us. But
yep,
as you just explained, it's it's so pertinent in their lives. Yeah.
absolutely. And I love it how spirit will try to get you to say something by using your own my own symbols and thoughts. So I
Hmm.
had another one that I felt was profound that I still think about it. And it was for a group reading that we did over Zoom because it was the pandemic. It was like just in the beginning. We were
Oh
supposed
man.
to meet in person.
Yeah.
And because of COVID, we had to do it over Zoom. So it was my first experience doing Zoom group. And it was a family of four. And it was a mother who had passed, and she kept showing me a little during Easter, the little chickadees, the little marshmallows
Mhm.
chickadees. I just call them chicks, right? Marshmallow chicks, chick. So I kept saying, oh my God, she's showing me. And so I'm thinking Easter, but I didn't blurt any of that. I just said, I don't know, it's like a little chick. I don't like those little chickadees, the marshmallow chickadees. And sure as not, I mean, bawling, they said that they had seen literally a chickadee. The name of the bird was a chickadee that had
Okay.
flown into their home and was like sitting on top of the broom. And they said, Mom, is that you? And they said, if this was you, Mom, show up, mention the chickadee in the reading. And she did. So
Wow.
it was really cool. It was like, oh, and of course, I don't know this until they
Yeah.
share it with me. Like, oh, does
And you
chickadee
thought they
mean
were
anything?
talking about marshmallow peeps.
Peeps. Thank you. How come I can? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, those things, but I couldn't say peeps. I kept saying chickadees, chicks.
Yeah.
So
Because
it
it was
was
making
cool.
you say that word. Yeah, yeah.
They were making me say that word. So
Mhm.
I
By the
just
way,
love it.
peeps, one word about peeps, if you put them in the microwave on low and get them to the size of a tennis ball, you can whack them around with a badminton racket all day long and they will not break.
That's
God only knows what they do to your
gross.
insides when you consume them. Well,
Ew.
I hate, yeah, my nephew and I, when he was a kid, we would do badminton peeps every Easter because he hated them and so did I. So we
Mm.
would just nuke them for a minute or two and then bat them around the backyard.
Oh my God. I did not know that about peeps. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'll probably never eat
So,
one ever again. Yeah.
so,
So I mean, there's many little ones like that, but those were the ones that came up that are just significant
they're
enough, like little,
amazing. Yeah.
little
And the ones
ones.
that make us feel really happy to be able to do this work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, it took a long time to really trust myself, trust that I was receiving things that made sense to someone else.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's a movie, it's a whole movie that's playing out,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like one or two symbols or a
Yeah.
part, like a hand holding something. And then you're focused on that happens to me. I don't know if that, because we all, you should, what everybody should understand is that as a medium, we all have our own language. We all have our own
Yes.
symbols.
Yes.
So, and it varies from person to person. But the main thing is, people with integrity want to do a good job. So when you see something nuts like Parker dropping his pants and mooning his entire family, you try to
Mm,
qualify it
I
by
know.
making
So
sense
funny.
of it. And the best way to do a good job is to just trust in the information you're getting and spit it out.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say, I'd like to make an appointment and I'd like you to reach my mother.
Yes, I get those. I know, and look at you. You said it with annoyance
Yeah.
too. And it's not their fault. They don't know, right?
Oh,
You
I
guys
know.
don't know because I'm sure when I reached out, because I did also reach out to Medium
Mhm.
as well, and my intention was to reach my dad. So I understand that. And that's fine. I'll just say, okay, great. Please don't tell me anything more. I want complete blank canvas, right? You
Mhm.
too.
Yeah,
I don't want to know anything. And then
exactly.
therefore when you book a reading with me, I don't even want you to tell me who you're connecting with. That is all in your head, and then spirit will tell me.
Yeah. But sometimes people want to speak to their Uncle Bob and their Aunt Rose shows up. I mean, this
Oh,
isn't the kind
yes.
of thing where we can actually get a hold of someone. People have to come to us. And it's
Correct.
always going to be someone that you knew. It just not
Yes.
might not be the person that you hoped
You
would show up. But
correct.
they show up for a reason.
They do. I've had that happen where someone did not want to have her father come through, and he was the first one. He had this letter of apology. He wanted to apologize, and he asked me to ask permission. Is it okay if he steps through and
Nice.
deliver this? So I said that, and she was like, I did not want him here. And I said, okay, and she goes, fine, I'll see what he has to say. And there was a beautiful healing moment of forgiveness, not forgiveness per se,
Mhm.
but his apology was huge. And that's what
Mhm.
she needed. So I've learned that spirit wants you to have
Oh,
the most healing,
yeah, they
right?
have remorse and then they can't forgive themselves until
Yes,
you do.
right.
That is the
Yeah.
whole deal with that. And then when we hear that, oh, you finally figured it out, that you like ripped me to shreds when you were here, you might be a little pissy about it in the beginning. But then
Yes.
it's like, okay, well, they finally got it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I forgive you. And then they can live with their remorse a while longer, knowing that they've been forgiven by their loved one and forgive themselves. Because until they forgive themselves of every perceived transgression,
Yes.
they've committed during their human life, they can't move on.
Yeah.
There's such a sense. I mean, I ask them questions like that all the time. It's like, forget the person who's sitting here. It's like, I have some questions for you.
I know we look pretty weird when we're like
Yeah.
having a side conversation,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And I think
yeah.
you heard me yell at them once to keep it down, because they will start talking among themselves. And then it's like,
Oh,
you guys need to shut up. All right, great, you're from the West Indies, but you're loud. So
oh,
quiet
that's so
down, man.
funny. Don't you think that's their way of showing like who they are? Because that doesn't
But they're
happen
talking
for
to
me.
each other. Yeah.
That's so cool. That doesn't happen with me. I have a
Oh,
system
you're
where they
so
stand.
lucky.
I'm like, you stand, if you're dad, you stand here. If you're, blah, 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 they're ordering.
Oh,
Women on
okay,
the
that's
left,
interesting.
men on the right. It was a Suzanne Giesman taught me this in her classes.
Okay.
And I tell you, it helps because they come in and they stand there. I'm like, oh, I've got a grandmother or mother here. Yeah, but, and there's like a mic. Who's the MC? Who's going to start the show? It's kind of like a show. So, and I try
Yeah,
really hard to make it, even though people come riddled with grief, I try to make it fun, if that's
it
an
has
appropriate
to be.
word.
There has to be joy.
We have to have laughter because laughter and tears, that is healing. And it keeps us in that high vibration. So to laugh.
Mhm,
So I always tell spirit, bring me something funny, something that you got to make
mhm.
them laugh. So yeah.
Did you ever have a group session where it just became so morose and everything just became so heavy? And then, I don't know about you, but my connection starts skipping. So then what I'll do, it's like just tell them, you bitches need to make me laugh a little to do, you know, can't wait to see
Yeah.
you happy again, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We need something
Let's get this
funny.
going,
Some
because we
and
need that
I'll make
energy, or applaud. They can applaud.
yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
actually
Oh, I
makes
like
it
that. I
happen
just
too.
have
Yeah.
everyone take a nice deep breath. Let's get
Mhm.
some oxygen flowing. Yeah.
Get up,
Yeah.
move around a little bit. Yeah, get your
Yep.
own energy up and
We
going, because
take
then
breaks,
we're going to be
refill the
able to
wine
enjoy that.
glass, go take,
Yeah.
everyone take a potty break, go fill your wine glass and come back. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you explain the difference in your process between doing one-on-one readings and group?
Yeah. They're very different, I will admit.
Mhm.
So a one-on-one is the full meal deal. That's where we sit and it's 60 minutes. And depending on the type of reading you want, if it's a psychic, if it's mediumship, or if it's both. Like I said, I have you write down on a piece of paper your intentions. And then I kind of introduce myself and I start off saying, hey, I am super casual. I am super easy to get along with. I want us to feel like we are friends, just having a conversation. I'm a normal person, married, to a Boston kid, and I got 3 children and a chocolate lab and cats and crazy mother. So, I'm normal. I'm just like you guys. The only difference is I'm going to sense things and I'm going to share everything with you, everything that it comes through. I'm just a messenger, a conduit. So I want them to feel at ease. And then we just have a beautiful connection and conversation. And it just goes on where they're just getting the full meal deal of guidance and messages from their loved ones and what they need to hear. Group readings are my favorite. They're magical. They're super fun. Not everyone, depending on the amount of people, will get a direct reading or message. However, Spirit plans it. And just like in platform here, they plan it so that each person will hear a message, whether it's being delivered to their best friend sitting next to them or their sister. And so there's a message for them in there somewhere as well. But those are fun and we laugh a lot. It's a high vibe and you can't make that shit up. It's just more energy and really more light, if I should say, can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you agreed to do a demonstration, which I can't wait to see. But before that, if anybody in the audience has any questions, either write it in chat or use the raised hand
Yeah.
function. And
Ask away.
yeah, so let's
I'd
have
be
it.
happy to. I should probably open my chat too, right?
Yeah. See, I
Or
usually
they could
start
raise their
yelling.
hand and
Okay,
see, oh, Glenn.
Glenn. Okay, I'm asking him to unmute. Glenn, you're
Hello.
there. Hey, what's up?
How are you, Anthony and Mayume?
Oh my God, Glenn
Hi,
is a
Glenn.
medium as well.
Oh, nice. Hi, Glenn. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you. I'm Mayume.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So thank you for accepting this question. I have a very sort of a unique one, and no one's been able to really help me, not even myself as a medium.
Oh.
Uh, besides being a medium, I'm also a musician, and I'm used to, and I've done some music working with one particular deceased musician who has channeled music to me over the years, who I won't say who that is, but I'm used to dealing with him because I can hear him clearly when he's talking to me. But for some reason, in the last 47 days straight, with the exception of 3 days, that this particular male spirit, who was a notable musician that's deceased, has been getting me to see people wearing T-shirts of a band that he was in, that was his band. And there's this constant thing I was in a bookstore the other day, and I heard, look at the table of books, and one of the books right in the center had the title of that book was a name of the song of this particular deceased musician. So the deceased musician that normally works with me he lived here in New York, and so it's not him. It's another guy who I've never dealt with before. I know who he is. Most of the people in the world would know who he is, but I don't know what he wants from me, or why is he getting my attention more than my own loved ones get my attention.
Okay. So are you saying, Glenn, that you say you don't know yourself, you don't feel the answer yourself? Like
Right.
what comes to you?
Yeah, right. I've tried to talk to him,
Mm-hmm.
just ask him like, what is it that he wants to share, but he doesn't say anything to me, and he doesn't show up like visually to me, right? So I just keep seeing people wearing T-shirts that have his band name on it, or there's definitely, like I said, the book that I saw in the bookstore that they had, the title of that book was a name of one of his songs with the band that he had.
Got it.
And
Wow.
cleverly under that book, there was a book underneath it that said "The Artist's Way," which I thought was even funnier. But
Wow.
this particular musician was known. He like I said, he's been deceased for nearly 30 years. So I don't know really what it is that he's wanting from me. I don't know
Uh,
anybody affiliated to him either, with the exception of a record producer who worked with him. I met that particular record producer once several years ago for about 2 minutes.
okay. May I share what's coming to me?
Sure, sure.
Okay. So it's interesting. I immediately, I know you said it was music. I see musical notes right away, and I see paper. It feels like there's something like writing music. It's sheets of music that I'm seeing. Okay, thank you. And they're showing me like a one, two, let's see, I don't know a music sheet that's well, but there's like, and the bars, right? Are there bars?
Yes.
Saying this right? So they're circling the first and the second bar, and I don't, so that's what I see. These sheets of musical, and I feel like it's writing. Do you write your music, Glenn?
Yeah, all my songs are written by
All
me. I
your
mean,
songs are.
sometimes I've co-written a piece of music with another musician, but mostly it's always me.
Okay, yeah. There's something about, okay, is it recent? I feel like it might be something that you've done recently, or maybe your latest. They
Yes.
keep showing me the first two bars are circled in red. So I don't know what is being said or what is played there. Is it just musical? Is there words there, or is it just the intro?
I know if that's what you're picking up, there's a song that I released a year ago called "Give Up the Ghost" under my music name, and I just put a video on YouTube 2 days ago. I haven't promoted the video yet. I'm waiting till later in the week when there's a new moon, and being that we just came out of Mercury retrograde. But funny enough, when I was putting this video together, because I'm barely in the video, I found a website called pexels.com, and you can use footage of people. It's for free. And one of the clips actually was, funny enough, was this: there was a guy in the footage who was playing an acoustic guitar that looks similar to the deceased guy that I'm inquiring about. So I put this guy in the video sort of in one part as a little bit of a goof in now, because I just thought, okay, how did that happen? How did I see this clip of this guy that looks like the deceased guy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly he's trying to reach you.
Right.
Clearly he
You know,
wants. So it has to do with your music, has to do with your writing. And I don't know if you're supposed to pull from there's a blending of something, there's information in. Okay. maybe it's his music too, but no, it's yours. I feel like it is yours. The first two bars circled, and it feels like he's wanting to, I keep seeing the word blend, and I feel like there's something where you're supposed to kind of pull and take parts of this of his stuff to make yours complete. And maybe it's, I don't know if it's your latest or if it's the next one.
Okay.
That
So
makes sense, to be derivative of his style, because it's almost like these musicians are being guides for you, and our guides
yes,
change from time to time. So
Right.
that's a cool thing.
Yeah, right. The previous musician who's worked with me on a lot of my compositions, my music would be more in the style of what he would be, but the guy that I'm inquiring about, his music would not be a genre of music that I'm really was big of. I mean, I respect what his band did and the massive success of that band and what he gave to music, but his music really is not my thing. So
yeah,
but that's no here nor there.
Yeah, but
It's
you can
just
acquaint yourself with it and catch a vibe from what he did, and then make that your own. Just make that your own
right.
style.
exactly. It's
I'm
still
not
just
your
being
it's just
own.
I'm not being rude, but I do want Mayum to do a group reading. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I love this, and I can connect you guys on Facebook or something if you like.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate
My
it.
Glenn.
pleasure.
Remember those
But
first two bars is what is being highlighted of your.
Thank you. Much
Okay.
love.
so if
Yeah, same
anybody
to
has any
you. Thank
questions
you.
on process or anything that we spoke about early, now's your time to ask before we go into full-blown demo and put Mayum in the spotlight. So does anyone have any questions about that, about how we do it, what happens? Okay, so
Great.
there we go. I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to take myself off camera, try to figure out how to unpin myself. You are going to instruct the audience, Mayum,
Okay.
on how you'd like them to interact
Yeah.
with you.
All right, you guys.
And I'm
Let's
just going
do
to sit
this.
back and watch.
All right. Okay. All right, you guys, thanks so much for being here. So what I'm going to do is my process is I'm just going to have us all take a nice deep breath in so that we can get, more oxygen to our brains. Everyone breathe deeply and then exhale longer than your inhale. And just relax your body. Know again that I am super casual. I am comfortable. I'm easy to talk to. And I'm just going to raise our vibration and get us into, like, picture ourselves sitting in the clouds, having a conversation. Okay. And then as I ask information to come through, I'll ask spirit. So your departed loved ones, I might get an angel or two or some guides. I will let you know if I sense that, to see if there's any guidance for you. But then as I provide evidence of who's here, please raise your hand if you guys know how to do this. Down at the under reactions, it'll say raise your hand, and then that will bring you to the top. And therefore I will connect. And if I get more than one, I will keep going with some. I'll ask the spirit that's with me to give me more. And then if something doesn't connect, then you can lower your hand. But I like to also hear your voice. And so I may ask questions and have you unmute just to see if we're connecting together. Okay. And that's kind of how we're going to do it. Now, because it is platform and because I would love to be able to do as many as I can, it will be more fast. We'll kind of get the evidence, we'll get the person, the essence, and then their message for you. And then we'll move on. Okay. All right. And I do want to say, I'm going to start off right away. There is a mother that is over here that is coming through. She's older. I feel like she passed in her, I'm going to say 70s. She's got glasses, shorter hair. I feel like there's a daughter here that she's connecting with. I feel like it's a daughter. So this is a mom. Okay, well, we are all East Coast here. I'm from the West Coast, but I feel like she's saying East Coast. So I just want to say that I think the majority of you guys are East Coast. I'm not sure. So East Coast, I feel like there might be an Italian descent or I feel the time. I'm not positive. It just feels like there's some ethnicity here that is not fully American. Oh, Sandra. Oh, hi. Okay. So she is also, okay, well, let's see. Sandra, I know you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hi, Mayume.
Hi. Okay. So Sandy, right? Can I say Sandy? I know it says Sandra. I know you. I don't know you very well. I met her in Mexico a few months ago. Crazy. All right. So would you understand mother has passed?
Yes,
Okay. And so is she of Italian descent? Is this correct?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm getting a yes for that. Okay, and did she was she, and I know this is very general and very stereotypical, but did she like to cook? I mean, food was massive for her, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And she shows me the big pot of I don't know if she's making sauce, but she's showing me that could be symbolic or that could be literal, that she's making something, some kind of sauce or something in the pot. Yeah.
Soup. Yes.
Soup. Okay, so it was soup. So okay. What is she saying here? So do you understand the glasses, and did she have shorter hair towards the end?
Yes.
Okay, she is showing me her chest, Sandy. So it feels like there's pressure in my chest. And I feel like this is what she's talking about, where it might have been cause of her passing. And specifically, yeah, right here. Okay, was this breast cancer or something in her breasts?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, and I'll tell you, it's really interesting. She made my breast go boom, boom. Okay, so I was like, oh, okay, it must be my breast. See, they use my body. All right, so I definitely feel I'm connecting with you, so I'm going to keep going. So she's talking about a blanket, Sandy. It feels like, I don't know if she quilted or if she crocheted. It feels like something that was made, a blanket that has importance to it. And okay, I feel like it's quilt.
She had there was a blanket made for her and we put it on her when she was in hospice. Yes. And
Okay, so go ahead.
I kept it. I have it.
You have it. Thank
Mhm.
you. Okay, and would you agree she's a woman of faith, she's telling me. And there's something about a necklace, and sometimes when they mention the necklace and hold it like this, it's either really important or a woman of faith.
Well, I have her ashes and I wear it every day and I hold it just like that.
Okay, on your neck, like here?
Yeah, just like
Oh
you're
my
doing.
gosh. Oh my
Like,
gosh. Okay, so she's like, know that your mom is acknowledging this now. Okay, is acknowledging that you are wearing the necklace. So I love this. I want to say that she's a talker. Okay, yeah, she's coming in. I feel like she's got some hands. So that's maybe why I thought she was maybe more Italian, but she's coming in and she's like this. I am so happy to see my girl. There's also someone else. Do you have a sister and maybe a brother? I feel like there three of you.
wow. My sister and well, there's my son, no brother, but my sister and my son.
Okay, there's a boy, younger boy. Okay, it's under. Okay, so understand that she's acknowledging this, especially the boy. There was much more accent on the boy. She is acknowledging. I thought it was maybe her like younger son. So she's acknowledging your son.
She helped
She's
raise him. She
very
helped
proud.
me raise him. Yes.
Sorry, say that again.
She helped me raise him.
Okay, so that's why she's acknowledging him. There's a definite connection here. I just want to say that she's saying he's very smart. There's something about a paper. Did he just have to write a paper or write on paper? Maybe it's homework. She's saying I was with him when he did this.
Okay, very possible. I mean, he's in school, so
Okay. This feels like recently. Okay, thank you. At home, she's showing the book. So this must have been some kind of homework or a paper that he had to write or uh, it almost feels like drawing.
oh
Does he
wow.
draw? Is he like
He,
sketch?
yes, yeah, he draws. He's very good at drawing.
Okay, so she's acknowledging this and she's saying that that he's really good, but more importantly, I was there. She's like, I was sitting next to him. Okay, when he was doing this. Did he draw rainbows, or do you see rainbows or something about rainbows?
Uh, he's actually here with me and we're both looking at each other shocked. Rainbows, yes, we always look for rainbows. We just saw a rainbow last week and acknowledged it. Look at the rainbow. And
Oh
we
my
were
God.
together. Yeah.
Okay, and that was from her. I'm getting my two shivers. That was from her. Just know that that was your mom.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God, she loves you guys so much. It's very, very strong, very powerful. She's just she's like, I'm so excited that I got to do this, that she could come and say hello to you. Okay. And the boy, she's like, my boy, my boy. I really thought it was her son.
We used to call
Okay.
him my boy.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just leave you with that. Just know that your mom is right there with you, watching over you, and loves you so much. So
Thank,
much. Okay.
thank you,
Absolutely. All right. And may I have her first name, please?
Izzy.
Izzy. Okay. Thank you, Izzy. What a beautiful energy she is. Just so you know, beautiful energy. Whew. Okay, so that's kind of how this is how it's going to go. Okay, I don't mean to rush off, but we're trying to get as much as we can the message so I can move on. Okay, I'm getting a mail now. We're switching gears, so I'm going to turn to this side because I have the mails over here. This is a male that I feel like died before his time. Okay, I feel like, oh gosh, I'm getting all kinds of weird things in my body. Okay, he was definitely a father, but he tells me that, but he actually, I feel as though he's more in front of me where he was someone's partner or spouse. Okay, so he does both. He stands here, says, I was a father, but it's more about connecting with someone that I feel like this was someone's partner, spouse, lover. Okay, I feel like this is someone that we're romantically involved with, and he's acknowledging. I feel like he was very romantic. I feel like he is a very, oh God, he's moving me. Anyways, he's very kind and just gentle. He's like a gentle soul. He does make me feel as though there's something wrong in my body, and specifically my back. My back hurts. So I don't know if he had issues with his back hurting, because he shoots some pain in my mid back. Does any of this resonate with anyone? Has anyone lost a husband, a spouse, a partner in this group? No. Okay. All right. So, oh, Donna. Yes. Okay, Donna, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hi, yes, but no son.
No son.
He did not, my husband did not have a son.
He didn't have any children.
No,
Okay, so he was not a father. Was he any type of father, like stepfather or any type of father?
no, an uncle.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, that's
no
okay.
father.
That's okay. And I do have to share with you, Donna, when you were one of the first ones that jumped on earlier, right? When we were 1st, right? And I did pick up that there was a male with you that I felt like was, but I then, I always try to not start that. I try to make that go away. So,
Right.
I do feel this is connected to you. I do. So this is your husband has passed. And I'm sorry for this. Did he have pain in his body, in his back specifically? Any issues with his back?
He did have cancer
Okay.
throughout.
Throughout.
Started in the stomach.
Okay, in his stomach. I'm so sorry. And would you understand that he was romantic and like very kind and gentle?
Yes.
I feel like, oh, he just said he was, well, she wore the pants. Okay. He says,
Not really. Very kind. He was extremely
no,
kind.
but you wore the pants, correct? Yes. He's making me sound like you wore the pants. He was the one that was very gentle and very kind. He's shown me books. So I feel like he liked to read, or he was well educated. So this is what they do, the symbols. He shows me a stack of books. Sometimes, let me see here. Yeah. So would you understand that he liked to read or was well educated?
He liked to read.
He liked to
Yeah.
read. Okay.
I mean,
So-
he was in finance.
Okay.
So, I mean,
The stack of
stacks
books.
of like reports and stuff.
Oh, interesting. So that's
Well,
what
and tax books, stuff like that.
okay.
Like
Oh,
not
right.
not
Was
like
it like
novels,
beach reads or novels? Okay. So, but
Yeah.
gotcha. So books. Okay. All
Mm.
right. I love that. Oh, he's laughing. Okay. Yes. He's talking about the music that you guys played. I think when he was sick, or when he was the reason why I feel like he was in bed or laying down and not feeling well. And he's talking about the music that you guys would play. That he feels like this was soothing to him. Do you understand this? Soothing, like the music. It feels like music that he loved. He's acknowledging this. Okay. And he liked to give you cards, he said. I feel like he's talking about The reason why I say this, he shows me a card and it's got a heart on it, and it feels like it's a card for you, like a
Yeah, he used to write little ditties, little
little like
things.
love notes kind of.
Mm.
I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to say, Donna, his energy and his soul is very, very sweet, very kind, and I know you know this, but he wants me to say this, and maybe you've heard this before, but he loves you deeply. Like you were the love of his life. Do you understand this? Yes. And so he's sorry that he had to leave. Like he's sorry. He wished that you guys had more time. He says there was plans. I wanted to do things with my wife. He does show an
Right.
airplane, so there's travel. I don't know if this is happening.
Lots of travel.
Lots of travel. And so, and he does say he hopes that you still continue to do this. And so I feel
Mhm.
like in honor of him, you travel, do things. Would you understand the necklace? Do you have a special necklace that you wear all the time? He's acknowledging your necklace. No,
I don't know.
that's okay. It feels like, wait, let me see what he's saying here. Okay. He's acknowledging a necklace that you recently purchased, like a necklace that you bought for yourself, that he is saying that he, like he was there with you. So it feels like something that you purchased for yourself, that my wife needs to do more self-care, like do things for herself. You're always helping others, he says, and you buying a necklace for yourself that you
Trying to
enjoy.
think. Okay. I don't know. That's not.
I wonder if it hasn't happened yet. Go get that necklace.
Do I need to go buy a necklace?
I mean, sometimes
I
spirit will
think
do
so,
that,
Donna.
I
right?
think
Sometimes
so.
spirit will mention something that hasn't quite happened yet. I'm getting
Can I jump in? Because
I
Yes,
do have a
necklace
stone
that she's
picked
been
out.
looking at.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was just going to say that, Anthony. I have a stone picked out that I think I should act on that.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. It just feels like he's with you and he wants you to do these things, and he's excited to be a part of it from spirit. He knows that he's not physically with you, but he is energetically with you. And I feel you know this. You know this.
Mm.
And then the signs, the coins. Sorry, I feel like he's a coin giver. Did he used to carry coins or rattle the coins in his pockets?
He
And then
did.
the pennies from heaven. He's shown me a penny. So there's things that he's saying that is him for you. Yeah, but he's like, this is my little love note. I'm just sending her love notes. So he just
That's
wants
sweet.
you to know. Yeah, he's a
Thank
very
you.
kind, beautiful soul, and I'm sorry for this loss. I hope that you continue to travel and go get that necklace or that stone.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Donna.
Thank
And what
you.
is his first name, Donna?
George.
George. Hi, George. I just really love his energy. I really do. What a kind soul. So sorry for that loss. Okay. All right, everyone.
Thank
How are we
you.
doing on time? You're so welcome, Donna. How are we doing on time? Are we good, Anthony? Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Sorry,
going.
I was muted. Yeah, do one more because it's just 9 now.
Okay.
And then I want to plug, because you're going to be doing an event that I want to tell everybody about.
Yeah, where we'll be doing just a blast of readings. Yes. Yeah,
So,
let's see here. Well, this is interesting, of course. Someone's lost a dog. There's a dog just coming through, very hyper, medium size, might be a doodle, like, or there's softer hair, not like long hair, not like a retriever. There's a dog that's coming through right now. I feel like I'm supposed to acknowledge the dog. Looking right at me, floppy ears, like I said, kind of wavy hair. Gosh, I feel like it starts with a, I don't know the name or D. Thank you. Pink collar. Show me a pink collar, so it might be female dog. Of course, I'm not quite sure. Someone here lose a dog, and that has a dog in spirit that would be a female dog, that might have been a doodle, or I'm not very good at breeds of dogs. I'm just gonna be honest. But sometimes they show up and it's because the owner really needs to, know that their little fur baby's okay. Dawn, is that for you too?
I had an English cocker that had a pink collar
Oh
and
my God.
was like my husband's,
Oh, okay.
princess.
There we go. Yep. Okay.
Her name was Patty
Pat.
Paddington.
Oh, that's cute. Cute.
Am I
Okay.
the only one that had a dog that had
Yeah,
a
is there
pink
anyone
collar?
else? I just with the pink collar, that was supposed to be the
Yeah.
thing. All right. So again, he's okay. They're together. You know this.
Yeah.
They're together. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. She just came in and just said they need to know that I'm okay in there. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yay.
Thank you.
Oh, Patty, that's so cute.
One more.
Yep.
Do one more.
Yep.
If there's any, is there anybody around?
I'm getting a male. I feel like it's a brother or uncle standing where uncles and brothers stand. Again, died before his time. I feel like younger. He's quite handsome. He's quite energetic. He's got a great sense of humor. I want to say he's very funny. He's wearing a flannel shirt, which usually means dad for me, but I think that means he's outgoing, outdoorsy. When they show me the flannel shirt, again, that's just my symbol. So he liked to be outside, outdoors. He has shown me a belt and the belt buckle. It's something about the belt and the belt buckle. And he's got darker hair. I feel like he was a brunette, short. Are you showing me in your prime? I feel like you show me in his prime, because then he kind of shifts later. So he's got a little bit of a beer belly. Yeah, a little bit. But he was very handsome in his younger years. Still handsome, sorry. Still handsome, but it's more like the flash of I see him when he was younger. Again, this is standing like where uncles stand or brothers. So it could be someone's brother or someone's uncle. He's showing me a motorcycle. And did you ride a motor? I feel like you rode a motorcycle or liked motorcycles. Is any of this anybody?
I think, can you tell me a little bit more? Could it be a cousin who was much older than I? Around 10, 15 years older than me?
Well, it's interesting. Okay, it could be cousin relation. The way he looks is he's young. He shows himself younger, so it doesn't mean that he wasn't older than you. This is the time. Did he like to drink beer?
Well, we both had motorcycles,
Okay.
and we would go to biker bars and have beers.
Shit, Anthony, get out. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's make sure it's him now.
No,
I mean, else's.
no, I like when I hear the voice, it kind of connects. But yes, I'm going to keep going if this resonates. If anybody can take any of it, like they have a cousin,
Yeah, raise your hand.
raise your hand, because then it'll build on. Again, the motorcycle was kind of key, and then the beer, like he takes a can and goes kind of, and he's okay. Thank you. He shows me a dartboard. Did you guys play darts? There's something about the dartboard. Usually that could be a tavern.
Yeah, that was the night that we we were playing darts. It was also a pool table, and two guys got into it at the pool table, and then suddenly there was 3 against 1, and I just jumped in, and then he jumped in, and he said, "I thought you were gay." And I was like, "Gay as fuck." It's like, but hit this guy. And, yeah, so that
Okay. Yeah.
we would play darts. Yeah.
Okay. So I just feel like this is for you, Anthony. How about that? Did he wear bandanas? He showed me a bandana. I don't know.
Bandanas, baseball caps. He was always something on his head, but he did
Always
have
something on his head.
like
okay,
bandana.
Yeah, like a
thing.
do-rag. What do you call
Yeah.
those? Like, right? Yeah. He's wearing that. And then did he have some tattoos? It feels like there's a tattoo he's acknowledging.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the cigarette smoking. Oh, he's going like this with this smoke. He's making the circles. Do you know if he did that?
Smoke rings. Yeah.
Smoke rings. I should know.
Yeah, he would do them for his kids and make them put their fingers through them.
Oh my God.
Back when you were allowed to smoke in front of your children. This is a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, my dad did that too, the smoke rings too. So I just find it really interesting. Did he like to be outside? I feel like he's an outside guy.
Always out on the bike, always doing stuff outside. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is obviously for you. This is your cousin. So he's a hot shit and he's quite handsome. He's shown me in his younger years. I feel like he might even be flirting.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
so
would.
yeah. Okay. Because I said he was really handsome, when he was younger, and he's like, no, I was still so handsome like this. Okay. Did he have issues with his heart and his lungs? Like in here, he's showing me his lungs. actually picture. Okay. So he's, yeah, he says that he could count on you to make him laugh. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna swear. He's like, he's funny as fuck. Do you understand this? He thought that you were funny as fuck. I just feel like
Good.
it's like you surprised him in many ways. Understand this. Surprised him in many ways, but he loved you. And he was really proud of you. He's saying he's so proud of you. Oh, really proud of you,
Well,
Anthony.
we
Yeah.
connected when I was around 20. It was about 10 years difference in our age.
Mhm.
And we would go to these family things, and he would always see me rolling my eyes, and then he would just start laughing. And everybody couldn't figure out why we were so close, because he was a Marine, he was a biker, he had an auto body shop. And here I was, a musician and gay as hell. But we totally, and he said he was proud that I stood up to the family.
Oh, see, he's so
Yeah.
proud of you. So proud of you. Yeah,
Wow.
he's a
I wasn't
cool dude.
expecting this.
Yeah,
He was
me
amazing.
either. Like, yeah, especially if it doesn't resonate with anyone else. I mean, I feel like it's for you. Absolutely. How about that? Yay.
Well,
What's his
thank you.
name? What's his name?
Joseph. Joey,
Joseph.
you can call him Joey.
I was gonna say it's not Joseph. He's like, yeah, it's like Joe. Joey. All right. Well, God bless his sweet soul. And yeah, he's been gone a while. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. All
it's
right.
been a minute.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to send you some love there. So know that your
Thank
cousin
you.
came through and is very proud of you. And I know these are quick and fast. They're called like bullet readings, but I think
That's why we have to do it. That's the best way to do it in platform, because it gives you an idea of what this is like,
Yeah.
and how it works. And you also got a really good glimpse into Mayume's style.
Like I said, I'm
amazing person.
easygoing. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. Right.
So on the 31st of May, we're doing a platform event starring Mayume Carelli. That will be posted on the website probably in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
People who are registered are going to get a 50% discount. It's regularly $50. You can get in for 25. And it'll go on. How long do you want to work that night? Can you do 2 hours?
No, let's
Or
do
would
2
that kill
hours.
you? All
Yeah.
right.
No,
Or
let's do
as
2
long
hours.
as, yeah. And if it stops earlier, it stops earlier, because it's really not up to us.
Yeah. We'll take breaks though. Everyone needs a break. So
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we do breaks. Yeah.
Cool. We can do
Cool.
that. All right.
Well, you
Well,
guys, it's such an honor, Anthony. Thank you so much for having me. And it was really lovely to meet you all. Thank you so
I
much.
also want to repeat something I said before we started recording. Mayume is strongly considering joining our team at Astro West Underground to be able to be accessed through our website for remote readings. And I'm trying to force her to co-teach with me in an 8-week mediumship training, like a development circle. Because those of you who know me know how nuts I can be. I'm a bit of a loose cannon, and Mayume is not. So between our two energies, you're going to be getting everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Mayume,
balance
thank
to
you
that. We
so
have a lot of
much.
fun. Yes.
Thank you
Thanks,
for this. I really
everybody.
appreciate you coming on, and I thank all of you for attending. And
Yeah.
those of you who have registered, the recording of this will be in your student account. Just go to Meet Mayume Carelli, the one that you signed up for, and then go into lessons, and you'll see a replay of the Zoom meeting. And if anybody hasn't been able to make it, I know that I told everybody this. If you couldn't make it tonight, you can see the replay there. But please do try to be free on the 31st. It's going to be amazing.
Come on back, especially if you weren't able to connect with someone you were kind of hoping to. Let's see. Yeah, let's try and do it again. I'm open to it.
Thanks
so much
everybody.
fun.
Good night.
Thank you,
Love you
everyone. So
all.
honored. Have a great night. Thank you, Anthony.